NewsBiscuit. Real fake news.
Welcome to NewsBiscuit, the UK's original fake news. NewsBiscuit, the only thing on Twitter Elon Musk didn't want to buy. I'm your host, Wrenfoe, and I'm joined by the editors of the Sue Gray Report. SparklyBob.
Morning.
Morning. Oh, you know, see, now see, our listeners are going to go, you've got it in the morning.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, see, we've got to be good for all time zones. So you need to just simply go,
Hello?
And there you go. An air of mystery. We don't know where she is, what time it is. Anyway, FlashArry.
Hello.
You see, he knows. He did it right. And Chris F.
Hey, how you doing?
There's our token northern voice right there.
I never think of myself as northern, but there you go. That's sort of like...
comparative to us.
London's northern.
Between the three of us, we discovered we're about 5 miles away from each other. This month, everyone's energy bill looked like their PIN code. While Macron won the French election with the slogan, slightly better than a Nazi. Because it is, he's completely underwhelming, isn't it? It's that lowering of expectation going into election. The other person is horrendous. I promise to be ever so slightly better than them. You're going, oh, really? Can it not be more than that? Can it not be?
The French equivalent of Magnolia.
Yes, yeah, very much so. And I think that's kind of how I got girls in my early years, is by going, all men are horrendous. I will be slightly better. They'll piss all over the blue seat. I'll just do the walls. It's that kind of.
But surely that's what Macron. I mean, I'm thinking Macron is thinking that, because did you see that picture where he's like got his shirt halfway undone? He's lounging on a sofa, but with a very hairy chest.
I thought it was a flat otter.
Yeah, honestly, you're like, I don't know who told you that was alluring or vote worthy. I don't know. I'm not quite sure.
He's just given up. He's just given up, basically.
What was this part of his election literature?
Yes.
That's not the position he took in victory. This is my victory pose.
This was his luring the voters in, or girlfriends, like one or the other. He was obviously going, if I don't get elected, well, at least I've got a good Tinder profile.
Yeah, over 50s Tinder, yes.
Yeah, and that chest, very hairy.
Is it?
Yeah. Or maybe I'm now thinking, does he shave hourly? That's the other thing of like, and like everywhere else, like not probably just his face, but his arms, like, neck.
You think he's a werewolf?
Yeah, basically. So as a Nazi or a werewolf. But luckily there's a lot of Twilight fans out there. So
Right, okay, sorry, we probably digressed there. We're about half an hour into the episode. Well done, everyone. You haven't got past hello yet. Right, so that brings us to our first round, News in Brief, where our panelists select their favourite headlines. Chris F., what do you have?
All COVID guidance followed at Last Supper, insists Judas. Fixed penalty fine, PM apologises for getting caught. And another one related, it was Michael Fabricant in a different wig, says Johnson.
Is that in answer to what the MP looking at porn in the House of Commons was looking at?
That's very niche. That's extremely niche. Very strange. I mean, Labour, they might be trying to sort of pull the rug from under the Conservatives, but they should really try pulling the rug off his head.
That's what you want in the House of Commons. That's why I don't think they let small children and mothers with their small children, because a small child wouldn't be able to resist tugging it. We know not to do that sort of thing, but a small kid is like, what is that on your head? Let me help you with that. Let me take it off.
Well, what you need is like a toddler in there, because they would go, what's the matter with that man's hair? Like right in front of them. That's what you need. And then in front of Boris, why is that man lying? Nice and loud.
Why does this man cast no shadow?
Johnson will give an identical answer to every question he's asked going forward. There's no evidence of that. I wasn't there. And anyway, I'm not Boris Johnson. This is not America. I'm not in love, so don't forget it.
And then isn't, if he's doing an identical answer, then Liz Truss does an identical answer as well. that tweet about the Angela Rayner story, and he said, oh, it's awful, and thing like that, and then she literally copied it word for word. So
yes, they get sent it by their press office, don't they? But clearly on the thing, it must be saying, and please put it into your own words. Don't be a lazy fucker and just copy and paste.
Yeah.
Just waiting for someone to read that bit out.
Yeah.
There was a Premiership footballer years ago, because again, they don't run their own feeds, or there's someone behind the scenes who tells them what to write. And there was a tweet this person put out saying, please, can you tweet something along the lines of blah, 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 blah. And that's what he put out. He didn't even bother reading the preamble. He just thought, I'll just do that as it is. That'll be fine. No one will spot. SparklyBob.
The Queen to be replaced by Alan Bennett. The government's unveiled plans to slowly decommission Elizabeth II. And I like this. She'll then step back from her hectic schedule of posing topless for stamps. I like that bit. And His Britannic Majesty Alan I said he hoped the UK could become a fairer society with better TV drama and comfier slippers. I'm on board with that 100%.
Well, everyone
100%.
likes Alan Bennett. I mean, that is the thing. He's an uncontroversial choice. Thanks to Prince Andrew, Alan Bennett probably has moved up at least one rung in terms of getting to the crown, because I assume Prince Andrew's out the running now.
Oh, God, yeah. You'd hope so. Out the running for everything.
All that said, if he did become king, it would be a very different Britain that we'd be looking at. Maybe a bit more open-minded. I don't know.
Bit more
Less
medieval.
sweaty.
Bit more medieval, yeah.
Less sweaty.
My next one is Bernie Ecclestone avoids tax bill by claiming to be under 12. And then my last one was pensioners helpfully reminded your days are numbered. So each pensioner will be visited by a blind pirate bearing the black spot, quickly followed by the installation of a glowing white tunnel outside their front door. So, above all, we want this to be non-alarmist, said a hooded 7-foot-high skeleton armed with a sign. But I thought this was really apt with the latest thing of Matt Hancock with his protective ring. And let's be honest, no one wants to get anywhere near Matt Hancock's ring.
Yes, protective or otherwise.
It's a nasty taste in your mouth there.
Oh, I wouldn't know that. Right. FlashArry.
Durex having problems with inflation and stiff competition.
I was a bit shocked the other day. I hadn't been into a gents in a pub in a while, because I've got a strong bladder and I'm bragging about that fact at my age. But I just hadn't been into one for a while. And usually, obviously, traditionally, there's the kind of Durex machines on the wall, but they're far more elaborate what they've got now. They've got vibrating cock rings. They've got Viagra pills. They've got.
You
all
sure
sorts.
this was a pub?
Yes, yeah.
Much more boutique now. You have assistants in there now, sort of offering advice as well in there. So just as you're sort of shaking off and sort of doing your zipper, or
Yes, something for the weekend, and maybe a gimp suit to go with it.
I mean, do you prefer the
maybe a gimp suit to go
old days, where it's just one sort of old metal sort of dented machine and
just
you
hanging
stand there
off
for
the
sort
wall?
of.
Well, I mean, at least I didn't linger in the gents when it was like that. It was all ruined and smashed, and everything smelled of urine. I was like, I'm getting out there. But now there's all this stuff, and I'm reading up on it because I'm learning. I'm like, oh, what's that? What does that do? How's that a thing? And I'm like spending like 20 minutes in there now, which. Yeah,
Coming
It's a
back
talk of
with
the
a
pub.
yeah, because they thought I had such a strong bladder, and now they
Yeah,
don't know.
and then they're like, oh, wow, what's going on there?
Yeah, FlashArry was. What else we got?
Russell Brand broke my heart, claims Paxman.
Who would have thought, though, that Russell Brand would now become one of the significant, I'll put this in air quotes, truth tellers in our society? His podcast is huge and his stuff's great. And I'm thinking, this is Russell Brand. Why is Russell Brand the person I'm now going to for my news? That's not right. I wouldn't even go to him for relationship advice, let alone.
It is. It's some transformation from his earlier literary corpus, My Bookie Wook or whatever. Which wasn't it?
Yeah, we're gonna look at that. Look back at that like Das Kapital. There's more depth to him than I thought. It's amazing what happens when you get off the crack.
Celeb dies of hereditary stupidity. Dead socialite had fatal levels of the idiot gene, and life was tragically brought to their end just by being dumb. Those that make the same measured lifestyle choices as Hunter S. Thompson shouldn't expect to get a bus pass.
And they usually curse you with a really ridiculous name as well. I always think that's
Brooklyn.
worse.
Is it old Brooklyn one of the ones that's isn't he the one who's like tried to be an artist and now he's got like a cooking program?
He makes sandwiches, yeah.
Yeah, or has to get
No,
other
not
people
joking.
on to
He
cook.
makes
No,
sandwiches.
it's
That is
literally
his
making
thing.
sandwiches. It's so embarrassing.
I think the best kind of celebrity name though, or the worst really to the point, is the giving to your kid. Surely is Zowie Bowie. It's a killer, isn't it? You don't return from that. He changed his name, didn't he?
Yes, he is. Yeah.
He's a film director now with a very sensible name.
Yeah, like Duncan something or other. Yeah.
Duncan Sensible.
Zowie went out the window straight away. I'd like to make a movie. What's your name? Zowie. I don't think that's happening.
Mind you, Frank Zappa had children called Moon Unit and Dweezil. That's a burden you're never going to really get out.
Which is quite fun, isn't it? Because you just imagine as adult, like, with, getting people. Because I mean, I struggle like with, sometimes my name could be spelled like different ways and things like that. But imagine saying, Moon Unit, and someone's going, so how do you spell that?
Just the usual way.
Yeah.
As usual.
Yeah.
So
silent Q and 2 Fs.
Our next round is True Biscuit, where our panel has to guess which is the real headline and which is the fake one. Sparkly Bob, you're going to kick us off first. What have you got?
Yeah, so British public wrong about nearly everything, survey shows.
That is definitely true, isn't it? We are wrong about everything, aren't we? Hey, every election since the dawn of time has proven that, hasn't it?
the public are generally stupid and they're going to get everything wrong.
So is it the polls that are wrong or just we are wrong?
It's a survey saying that public opinion is repeatedly off the mark on many, many, many issues. So it's what people's belief of
so
things.
even stuff like the world is round, we're erring on the side of flat, are we?
Yeah, well, isn't it the Flat Earther Society that said, is it something like, we've got believers all around the world?
Brilliant.
Very good.
Yeah.
Get all my evidence and base my consumer decisions on the surveys that you find at the end of adverts, when the little footnotes where it says, 78% of people agreed that this shampoo was fantastic. I mean, if that's wrong, I don't know what I'm going to do.
I hate to break it to you, but if you then look at the little asterisk, it often says, we surveyed 27 people. So it's like out of the pool of basically my mum.
Or the rest of our board members.
Yes.
Yeah.
100% thought this is brilliant.
And the analysis never comes to a whole human, which is always one thing that worries me. 78% of 4. And you think, no, that's not right.
I was just on the train yesterday, and I was just going to actually have the internet up and stuff. And you get, as Chris says, you get these little pop-up things. And this pop-up was a vocal thing, and it's clearly an advert leading to sell me something. And it was just like, are you male and over 40? And I immediately then switched to something else because I didn't want the pop-up. And it was obviously like there's going to be something quite serious, some sort of health condition. But in my brain, I just went, I am. Yeah, it's all right, isn't it? Because I'm very aware of my male privilege. Are you male and over 40? I'll go, yes, fantastic. And I'm a homeowner, fantastic. And sorry, I'm supposed to be worried about something. Sorry, yes, like there's a little tail you can't see this on Zoom, but FlashArry, there's a tail that's just gone in front of his face. I assume that's a cat rather than something that FlashArry's got going on.
Well, that would be telling, wouldn't it? Yes, it is a cat.
You see, it's a classic thing with FlashArry. Whenever I mention men over the age of 40, this tail appears on the screen. He says it's a cat, but I don't know.
Unfortunately, I feel this is true.
But how did we evolve as a species? How do we survive? Always our instinct is kind of the wrong one. Like, don't eat that mushroom. We're like, no, it's fine.
Well, I mean, it's funny you should ask that because I was reading some survey results about that quite recently. About how we evolved, and we can totally trust them because I'm sure
they're
written by people who did.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Isn't that funny when you look around the room of any group of people and go, these are the ones, this is what nature has selected. We're the survivors. Yeah. Oh my God.
What's the other room?
Yes.
Like?
Yeah, the other room. Absolutely.
But then going back to the mushroom things, isn't there a thing where somebody said, like, how did we discover like the mushrooms? So like, 3 people sat there with mushrooms in front of them. That one dies because it's poisonous. This one sends that one crazy. And the third one goes, I'll just give it another go. Oh no, this one's edible. Okay, I'm all right. Yeah.
I think it's probably true as well. I think it's probably something to do with polling companies and the leading questions maybe, that are asked. And
well, it's true, but it's not kind of for that reason. It's because we're a bunch of doom mongers. So basically we just think everything is a lot more worse. Everyone is a lot more horrible. Everyone is trying to defraud us. So it's basically the surveys about how bad benefit fraud is, how bad crime is.
So not only is the glass half empty, the glass has been smashed and rammed into our face by a drunk. Okay.
Yeah, by the drunk who is committing benefit fraud and is probably some sort of immigrant, and possibly and a teenager who's pregnant.
Oh. They're the worst.
Oh God! I mean, you just see them all the time.
Yeah, you can't move for those sorts of people.
Exactly.
FlashArry.
Australians have introduced a new sport new version of angling where instead of the fish, they've replaced it with a man.
So is this a man in a fish suit?
Oh, I hope so.
It's a man in a harness.
SparklyBob's doing the move of a man in his fish suit. We can see it on Zoom, but we can't see you. You're missing so much.
You can't see it.
Oh,
But it's
lit
good.
up.
Listeners, can I just tell you, it's an amazing thing. Yeah, sorry, FlashArry. So we don't know if it's a guy in a suit,
but definitely he's attached to one end of the line, and the angler on the bank has to try and land him.
Now, is this consensual? I mean, is this?
Yes,
where
it is.
in agreement?
It is consensual.
Okay, so it's not just someone going along to the local swimming baths and
hooking a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
And you're mine now. Oh.
The volunteer fish is quite happy to do the prize photograph, but draws a line at mounting and stuffing.
Are they hooks right from the word go? Are they kind of wrapped up? He's just an act of pulling, or they swimming around and
landing?
So you haven't. Oh, that's a shame, because I'd like there to be some sort of lure. You know, I mean, obviously you can't do with like a wiggly worm because human beings will see through that. But you know, like a new iPhone or something that they.
I went a bit lower to a can of beer and
Yes. Yeah.
What's that? Oh, and then you've got them.
Off you go.
So they're already caught. So the real thing is that
the struggle to land.
Struggle. I mean, couldn't you get the same effect with just, I don't know, tying a rope around a sofa and then pulling it in?
The fish is allowed to weave, duck dive, and isn't allowed to use tools, but is allowed to bite through the line, which I thought was
wow.
That's some sort of jaw action. Manangling.
It's got a name. It's got mangling.
I just called it. I thought manangling was quite a good title.
Yeah.
For it.
You should definitely patent that. I think.
Trademark.
Surely it's a good dating website name, isn't it?
Or a bit of a
land your fish. Land your fish here. Your manfish here.
He may struggle. He might bite through,
but you're not allowed to club him.
Yes, a little mallet to the head at the end. Dunk. He's yours now.
Oh, I mean, is this like instead of like, is it like the hunting thing where they get, instead of hunting like foxes, they have like someone who runs around with like a
peasant?
Yeah.
Surely part of the attraction of fishing, I've never done it, but I would imagine is not being able to see the fish. You cast your line, and hey presto, 3 hours later or whatever, you land the fish. I mean, if you can see a sort of fat, oily man over the other side of the bank.
Is that the sort of man that you'd insist upon?
Yes, I mean, obviously. Of course.
Is there any other kind?
It seems like less fun somehow, less of a sport. But
it certainly takes the mystery out of it. The little kind of excitement of, what am I going to catch, as opposed to, it's Dave.
Yeah, again.
And do they take turns? Is it like everyone has a go as being fish and everyone gets a go at being angler, or is it?
I would think that, they rotate around. Yes.
Some days you're the fish, some days you're the angler.
There's a T-shirt
there. For life.
So deep.
How thick must the wire be though, so they don't break it? I don't think it bite through it, but
how thick does the wire be to catch a good man? Is that what you're saying?
I'm just thinking again. I don't fish, but I've seen
but I've dated
White House and Mortimer do their fishing. They seem to break the lines quite a bit on little fish. So how big's the fishing line to like
steel chains? Wouldn't you? It's like hauling back a kind of a car that's fallen in the water. You're just like winching it in.
But if they're biting through it, who are they catching? Is it Jaws from like the James Bond film? I mean, how's he biting through that? Wow. Yeah. I can't picture it, and I'm pleased about that.
Is that how you work out the truth of everything now in life? If you can't picture it, it can't be real. That's where you've got problems with the moon landings, isn't it?
It is.
I think it's probably true, and I know this also because we go into gents' toilets in pubs on a Friday night. They're selling equipment for it in there, alongside condoms and stuff.
Well, it is true. And it was reported in the Newcastle Herald in New South Wales.
Chris, what's yours?
Man who taught microwave artificial intelligence claims it tried to cook him to death. Well, this is a bizarre experiment. YouTuber Lucas Risotto decided to fit his kitchen appliance with a voice-controlled AI in a bid to resurrect his childhood imaginary friend who was called Magnetron. Magnetron, his friend, was an English gentleman and a World War I veteran. And in these imaginary stories he had, became sentient and started trying to kill him and offer, sending out these commands.
Okay. There's many things there, Chris, that we need to sort of work our way through. You can't just throw all that at once. First up, who gets a child a microwave as a gift? A childhood gift.
I don't think it was a gift.
I know you asked for a PlayStation, but we got you a microwave. I mean, it's cheaper. I mean, it is cheaper. It's definitely cheaper. As a kid, he pretended it was some sort of Victorian gentleman explorer or something.
Yeah, I mean, as a Victorian explorer, I think it was fairly limited in its actions. I mean, it could basically beep and do every 30 seconds would
like every gentleman explorer.
Yeah. And baked potatoes.
Yes, it was very good at that. I mean,
that's what I think of when I imagine Shackleton. I imagine a microwave.
Was it? And I mean, it's not trying to kill him because his name was risotto at the end, so it thought he was a foodstuff. It might not be as sinister as he thought.
And unless you're giving this microwave legs, I'm not quite sure how he's luring you to your death.
Well, this is it. I mean,
sort of opening up and going, "Oh, it's lovely and warm in here," and you're like, "Going, well, all right, yeah."
Well, he fed this information into it, and he says, this is the Lucas Risotto. I mean, I never picked up on that name actually. I mean, if you ever tried to cook a risotto in a microwave, it is bloody hard work. So it would kill you. And after turning the microwave on, Lucas said, "It felt like I was talking to an old friend, but suddenly there was threats of extreme violence, which Lucas believes stems from the microwave's PTSD surrounding its World War I memories." Magnetron asked Lucas to enter the microwave, switched himself on, and tried to cook his creator to death. I mean, it sounds like some sort of 70s B horror movie, doesn't it?
Well, certainly with a walk-in microwave.
I mean, yes, there's elements. Okay, admittedly, there's elements here you can't, they're hard to imagine.
I've got less sympathy for this guy if he's making something that's walk-in size. I think that is just asking. It's like someone who builds a mousetrap, but it's human size. You're going, well, there's something that could potentially go wrong here. Of course, the microwave is going to try and kill you. Of course, it's only ever got a 2-minute window.
I mean, I don't believe it purely for the fact that no one does anything other than hi and 2 minutes. There's only 2 buttons you ever press. So how was he ever having more of a relationship with the microphone? No one knows what the other settings are for. You'd never press other buttons.
I think it's gloriously false, but it's a film I'd watch.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm in that for the series there.
Oh, there's more to it.
Well, it's true. It is true. And there's YouTube. There is a YouTube video of Lucas Risotto with this bizarre experiment. I mean, it's quite sinister. I mean, it's in some respects, he sounds like quite a good friend.
This isn't true, Chris. No, this isn't true. This can't be true. This is what?
You sure you weren't watching like Weird Science or something?
Okay, SparklyBob, have you got another one?
Yeah, I have. Dead leopard on the A646 turned out to be some tart's coat.
And this is a newspaper report where they've used the word tart. So surely this is from the 1970s or something. Nobody says the word tart anymore. I mean, I'm a little bit sad that the word's gone out of circulation, but some tart's coat. I mean, that's a phrase that doesn't get used, surely. A dead leopard. Of course, when you said dead leopard, immediately I thought the soft rock band.
Yeah, it was all of them, and it turned out it wasn't.
So this is what somebody who's called in, seen something that they've gone past and called in a shape. I memean, coats don't generally look like a full leopard, do they?
There's so many big cats here in the UK.
Well, that's it. Yes. Sightings.
The A464's Jaguar country, though.
Oh, yeah. That's true. Yeah.
Some tart's coat. That's the bit I can't get over. It's a coat belonging to a lady. What's it? It's a tart's coat.
Some 70s journalists sort of look, very happy with their copy that day, weren't they?
Trouble is, if you're the lady who lost the coat, you can no longer claim the coat back. You've got to go, yes, I was that tart.
chap driving early in the morning had to pull over because he was scared that this, thought he was going to rip his face off.
The
Then realised it was some task.
Are there other bits of bits of clothes that look like animals? I mean, this could be a thing. Sort of some trousers that look a bit like a Dalmatian or something. Or
you think it's Cruella de Vil who's just been shedding?
Wasn't there? There was the cuddly toy. Wasn't it in Essex where there was a really big cuddly toy? They ended up like getting not snipers, but like sort of having helicopters out and things like that because someone said there was like a lion or something, a tiger, and it turned out to be like just a massive cuddly toy that someone had dumped in a field.
Doesn't that go to your other story about us all being sort of pessimistic or doom mongering or catastrophizing? We go to the most extreme. It's a Yeti. Is it? Maybe we need to rule out a few other things first.
Yeah.
It's a Loch Ness monster. Is it, or is it just a shoe?
It's a blue whale. I swear it. It was on the M1.
Yeah. Godzilla
Really?
is going to eat us. It's a microwave. It's alive.
Some tarts coat.
That's the official police report as well. Probably says that. It was discovered in the end that it was some tarts coat. Yeah.
You often see on motorways, though, don't you? You often see a single shoe.
Yeah.
And I'm always curious, what's the chain of events whereby someone lost a single shoe while driving, but not the other one? But a whole coat, how does that get sort of lost? Do you just kind of, I'm hot, and just hurl it out the window?
Who doesn't do that? Who doesn't I have no need for this anymore.
Yes, it will never get cold again. I'll just I throw off all these clothes. They're restricting me. I'm a free spirit. Oh, now it's nippy.
Then the companion headline is sort of frozen strumpet found in lay-by.
Yes, so it takes a much more sinister turn. Yeah. Oh, we all had a big laugh about leopard, and now there's a murder. Oh, we feel a bit bad now. And we're not going to call her a tart because that's really sort of inappropriate. Now she's dead.
Well, to put it in context, the chap who did say Halifax is a bit of a drinking town.
There you go.
That explains it. I mean, that does,
So it's a drunk leopard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why I got run over.
Yes.
It wouldn't have been getting on the road otherwise. Like,
staggering around in traffic. I never change my spots. Right. Okay. True or false, FlashArry?
I think the story's true. Yes.
Yeah, it's got to be true. It's a classic.
It is. It's this chap on Facebook, he said, careful, dead leopard in the road on way to Halifax. Oh no, it's some tartscope from last night. Can't believe I turned back for this. But then the lovely Metro did publish that like that. So
that's how he posted it online. Brilliant.
Yeah,
Excellent.
but he did go, because I've often seen, you get a lot of roadkill on this, like, badgers, foxes, people's pets. So it wasn't much of a leap. And you're like, well, it is to a leopard.
It's a continental leap, is what we're looking at there.
Yeah, fox, deer, elephant. It's just you just see it all the time.
So in his mind, everything just naturally goes up in size.
Yeah.
There's no issue to the fact that they'd have to travel like thousands of miles to get there.
Yeah, eventually, he's just thinking, you're going to get the big five are going to get killed on one of the roads around there. I don't know why people go off to do safari, because you can just see it. Down the M62. Fine.
Excellent.
FlashArry, have you got another one?
Florida parents are now to be involved with vetting the syllabus for mathematics.
And this is to stop people, discovering about evolution or the number 5?
Sums that end with 666.
Yes.
Binomials instead of heteronomials. Yes.
Things like quadratic equations, they're evil things. I could be behind that as a campaign of. I could imagine this. Someone had a traumatic maths experience at school and has got a vendetta.
I think the musical theatre community should take over the curriculum design for maths. Someone posted actual question from the GCSE paper earlier this week, which was something like in the play Rent, in the musical Rent, 525,600 minutes is mentioned. What is this equivalent to? Is it a day, a week, or a year?
Yeah, show your workings and footwork.
Yeah. I could honestly, I think this is true, because I can just imagine it, that someone would go, we just don't need to know this stuff.
Hold on. There's always a kid that says that. That's not an American thing.
No, but on the scoreboard,
every kid
I can
every
imagine.
maths lesson since the dawn of time has gone, algebra? When's that cropping up?
Yeah, I think it's going to be true as well.
Unfortunately, it's true.
Yes.
It's part of the
Shocking.
Florida program about Don't Say Gay, which has led
Oh
the...
my gosh,
What?
it's terrible.
When do you say gay in a maths lesson? When is that? I'm very happy about these numbers. I'm positively gay. But what's gay about maths? Other than I can imagine some American kid going, "Oh, this maths is gay." I mean, I can't.
That's enough.
That's enough.
Yeah.
They went, "Is it?" And they just took the kid literally.
If you keep going on about things like standard deviation, someone's going to start picking up that.
Yeah. I'm not being funny. Now the NewsBiscuit podcast is now going to be used as evidence. Someone's going to find this and then go, you know what, you thought I was all ridiculous about banning this maths man. Listen to this guy.
Chris, one last one.
Scientists find crows have a concept of the number 0. So researchers.
They're gay. Because they're gay. And all crows are gay.
So researchers in Germany have new evidence suggesting that crows can indeed contemplate the number 0. So they set up a computer game, these researchers, and each crow was presented with 2 displays, which had a series of dots on them.
Hold on, but the bigger news story is crows are doing computer games. Not that they've discovered the number 0, but they're mastering like the PlayStation.
I know. I mean,
That's a bigger thing.
They love it. I mean, they're big gamers. Crows, they're big gamers. Animal Crossing, they love that sort. They love all those sort of games.
I'll tell you what.
Roadkill.
Don't link them to the microwave, otherwise we've got like some sort of super being happening here.
Crow microwave cyborg.
Oh my god.
I mean, the ethics and consent forms of these are an absolute nightmare. Let me tell you. Getting these crows to fill in the form and complete it. I mean, it's hard work.
How do they know though? How do they know that it's the nothing, the 0 that they're reacting to, rather than like the dots? Like,
I wonder.
Are they shrugging?
I wonder if it's a realization that all animals have in the end about what's going to happen to them as a species if mankind gets their way. How many of us will be left? Yeah, 0. That is the thing. They all come to that. I tell you who doesn't know 0? Magpies. we know they're all in multiples and there's all things, but there's nothing for 0 magpies, is there?
Now, the lead researcher concluded here the most astonishing aspect of this discovery
is that we wasted so much money doing it.
Is that someone even asked the question in the first place? I can't believe we got led down this path.
Yes, I haven't seen my family for 5 years doing this. That's the most astonishing aspect.
I could have been curing COVID. But
exactly. And the spare room's just full of crow feces, everywhere. They just like, he's spending all his time
Chris,
with the crows.
Tell us what the real astonishing aspect is.
Well, it's just how different crows' brains are from ape brains. The 2 species diverged approximately 320 million years ago, said the researcher. And
I could have told them that apes are different to crows. What the fuck? Let's bring in that little toddler we had in the House of Commons earlier. They're going to work that out instantly.
Apes. I mean, apes are much more sophisticated, as well as the concept of 0. I mean, they understand basic overdraft and compound interest rates as well, But, you show a crow that, they really struggle. I mean, they really do struggle with that.
Is this the UK government and doing this to kind of get our, we've got so much jobs that we want to fill. Like, you know what? So crows, get them on in. They can do some accountancy, something along those lines.
No, this is just how we're spending our Brexit dividend. Is on our research into crows.
I was thinking when I was saying COVID, I was thinking that sounds really something. I was like, do you think someone went, "Oh, you're meant to be researching COVID," and they went, "Corvid is what we're doing," and we're like, "No, that wasn't it. That's not the thing we've been fighting for the last 2 years. COVID to get to nothing, not Corvid to get to nothing."
Very good.
Bravo. Okay, SparklyBob, true or false?
Oh, it's true. What a waste of time. You just know it. So that's someone's PhD, and well done then. But
yeah.
It's not helping us any at the moment.
FlashArry.
I think it's true as well. And
Yeah, we've got a very low opinion of academics on NewsBiscuit, I've noticed. Partly because quite a lot of the writers, I think, are academics. And they would just go, yeah, that is the kind of shit we would waste time and money on.
It's true. It is true. Okay. Yeah, good funded study. And yeah, some follow-ups going on, I think, with some sparrows. 3-year longitudinal study as we speak.
Finally, we reached the magic 8 ball.
The magic 8 ball!
Each of our guests is going to give us their quick predictions. I say quick because we haven't got long left. They're going to give us their predictions for next month's news. Okay, panelists, what headlines could we be looking forward to?
Elon Musk in deal to buy souls in purgatory. He said, I thought I was buying Twitter, but it turned out this was the same thing.
Boris Johnson no longer trusted with sharp objects.
It's self-explanatory, really, isn't it?
Also no longer trusted with the English language. We're confined to communicating through a series of gestures, grunting noises, and inevitable feces flowing.
After the sort of Angela Rayner Basic Instinct sort of scandal, I think everyone in the House of Commons is going to get their own film title going forward. So Chris Grayling will be Dumb and Dumber. The Conservative Party will be Very Few Good Men. And Neil Parish will be the hand that jerks under the table.
And that brings us to the end of this episode. I can reveal this month's winner is any lawyer working on an hourly rate for Johnny Depp. I'd like to thank our guests, SparklyBob.
Thank you.
See, you didn't do good night that time, did you? Or anything like that? No.
I could have.
You could have done, yeah, really.
Yeah.
You made him think the podcast lasted the entire day.
Yeah.
FlashArry.
Thank you. Cheers.
And Chris F.
Thank you.
And I leave you with these headlines. Hadron Collider recalibrated to detect Boris's integrity. Snowflake apple farmer told to grow a pair.
Oh.
Pirelli to make the next Mayan calendar. They can't predict the end of the world, but next month will definitely be tits.
You've been listening to NewsBiscuit, free to read and free to write for. We accept submissions from any budding satirist, young or